Howdy, gentlemen, and I hope that you're alive and kicking. And I'd like to share a news item with you that may give a clearer picture to some of the younger men, even the older men maybe, to the reality of the paradise called Thailand. Then there's no doubt about it, I lived there for 10 years or more, and it can be paradise every day. And I would say at the moment, it's the best times I've ever had. And the most fun I've ever had with the Femon, or Femons. But when you live there as long as I did, you see some Falang, which is the word they use for anybody that's not Thai, fall in love with these Thai Femons. And believe me, it's easy. And lose everything. And sometimes lose their life. You see, when you buy a house in Thailand, it has to be in the Femon's name, or the Thai person's name. It cannot be in the Falang's name. That's the Thai law. And you get these guys who fall in love with these Thai Femons and go back to their country and sell everything and come back to Thailand, and Thailand's very cheap. You can buy some land and a house for a real reasonable price, and sometimes you can just build a new house as well and still have loads of money left over. And that's what these guys used to do, and play happy families in their small village that the Femon came from. And then the Femon just decided to kick him out because it's not his house, it's not in his name. The guy would be poor and have no money and have to go back to his country, and he had nowhere to live now, and it was pretty sad, and I saw it many, many times. And if you've listened to my other video on Thailand, Thai Femons are only good in Thailand. No good taking them back to your country. They just become another Femon. There are very, very few relationships I saw that worked out long term. But anyway, here's a story from a man from Colorado who went on a holiday in 2017 and met himself a Thailand Femon. Man, I guess of course he fell in love. And he quit his job and sold his house and sold everything and moved to Thailand and built a house for the Thai Femon in her village where she was born and lived. But I guess it wasn't working out too well. I had a few arguments, I guess, but one of the arguments, and she just told him to get out because I guess the house must have been in her name. And you can imagine how angry a person could get when you're getting kicked out of the house that you probably built or paid for. But I guess it got overheated and he knifed her and she died. And it was found out later that she was pregnant. Presumably he was the father, but you never know, do you? So now he's going to be in Thai prison for a very, very long time, which he may not survive. Although his life in 2017 obviously wasn't very exciting, because when he went to Thailand, he was bowled over, I guess. But now look at his life now. And I expect the house is still in her name, so he probably won't see any of that either. But I'll put a link down to the story down below so that you young men or even older men can kind of get wise about that sort of thing. So go to Thailand when you can, yes, for sure. But everything in Thailand is transient. So be awake and aware when you're there. The thing is, Femons are Femons all over the world, even when they have a nice smile and a beautiful face, and a fit, cracking body too. That's my wise words for you guys out there tonight. Hoo, hoo. The wise old owl.